So spiritual development, from myth to reality, here and now. So let's don't talk about the future and let's don't talk about the past. Let's talk about what it can do for us right now. Being on this path, from my personal experience, like I said, I once was sick, but now I'm sitting here, I can touch my toes, I can walk around, I can play basketball with people half my age and keep up. I'm doing all types of things. For number one, it gives you health. Number two, it gives you another outlook on life. I love being in nature. Even if I'm living in an urban city, I will get out as much as I can, want to be outside, because that is you. It brings up healthy relationships. It deals with your income. Why would I say that? If you're sick, you can't go to work. By me being healthy right now, it don't matter if some money comes through my hands or not. If it don't, if it do, but I'm healthy. So therefore, it always registered that I could be able to do something. It brings more productivity to you. So wherever level you at right now, just start where you at, take it slow, and work with this force that's all around us right now. Okay, my name is Elektron, and I've been on a breatharian path now for 18 years. It is a process. There's different stages and degrees when you learn, when you come more into this knowledge. But when I grew up in an average American household, and the standard was 3 meals a day. Eat a healthy breakfast, lunch, and make sure you eat dinner. So I understand. So of course, growing up with that type of mindset, when I became into adulthood and I'm raising my own family, I made sure to get the extra freezer, make sure it always had a food in the refrigerator. But the next thing that took place was the gaining of weight. And I kept gaining more and more weight, and it became terrible. And little diets didn't work here and there because I was surrounded by food. Also in the workplace. Everywhere you go is surrounded by some social event dealing with food. Now, of course, I knew I needed to do something because I really felt bad. So then I read a person that said, well, just leave meats alone. At this time, I was desperate, so I just cut all meats out of my diet the best way I knew how. And then pretty soon I ran into a vegan community where I educated myself on a lot more. Now, just by leaving that denser food alone, I lost a lot of weight and felt real good about myself. And I also started putting an exercise routine in my lifestyle. I began going to the track, walking, then I started doing like a couple miles here and there and start biking. Really felt good about myself. Then I started to educate myself more about different foods. I went into live and raw foods. I got up to about 80% raw, which really felt good, dealing with the enzymes within the food. When we talked about electricity, more electricity within the food. It made my energy increase. But then I also learned about more meditations, and my main one is the microcosmic orbit, opening up the center channels within the body. When I started getting into energy work, that really changed the ball game, combined with food, learning, and I was really wanted to learn all types of things. I learned Tai Chi, I learned yoga, just to explore to see where I'm at. So I learned all these different things, dealing with energy work. I also understand the importance of having a good energetic diet. And then I started learning more about fasting. So I fast once a week, that was in my lifestyle. So when I came into the breatharian knowledge, you know, this one young girl one day had a book and say, do you know there's breatharians, people that can't eat? I said, no way. But for me, I said, and in a way, I can see that because I was already on a bigger holistic lifestyle and wanted to grow more. Most people would stagnate them because they're at a denser frequency, and they probably really never took on the challenge to heal themselves before. Because even when I told you I was gaining all that weight when I was eating meat, my body really felt bad. I knew I healed myself due to my change of lifestyle. So I knew the power of a change of a lifestyle, bringing in another frequency in your life, what would it do? So when I went in to learn more about breatharianism, I said, this makes sense to me. So when I went into it, I increased my meditations, opened up the chakras even more, lightened up my diet even more. Now, even though I got a whole story about that, also, that's a whole nother story within itself. Over a period of time, I grew more energetically. This is why I teach this way. And my body was able to bring in more light. The reason why I know it, because I gained more energy. My weight began to get stagnant when I didn't lose too much. I knew I was living on prana. So of course I went through the phases. Your mind still had foods that it loved. I dealt with that through years, even though I was still breatharian, because keep in mind, a breatharian is eating none at all or very little. When we mean very little, we don't mean 1 meal a day. You could go once every 3 days, once every 7 days, and still live healthy with full of energy. Right now, we already broke the standard on what keeps a person healthy. You need this many calories in order to, we broke that already. So right now, this does have a voice and it does need to be heard. It's here now. So whether a breatharian chooses to eat very little or none at all, the knowledge is now here. The processes is now here. People coming from different walks of life, but it all should end up to the same thing about being a self-sufficient being, opening up the energy centers, becoming one with nature, because we are nature. You never left. People at home eat food because it's a conditioned habit. You were born into it. Now, of course, when a baby first comes, it goes through his mother's breast milk. And then how the ancients say it, then you take it so it can eat from Mother Earth. Now, since I just said electricity, that tells right there, ding, if you want a healthy baby, a healthy child, you want to give it higher energetic foods because you're the caretaker of that child, because the child is not responsible for his own development. That's what we're dealing with. So now, as you're feeding the child on that, you can feed them about going from Mother Earth to now the Sky Father. That's what they said in the ancient times, but now it makes sense. Now you're going into the higher energies in the atmosphere where the human being by its true nature is a self-sustaining being. Oh, higher frequencies food. All food has an energy content going to it. And it's sort of like if we get a potato and hook it up to a machine that can measure the energy or the voltage. It will actually show voltage. But as soon as you cook the potato and we put it up under the voltmeter, it does not show a voltage. See, this life force energy is in all things. And of course you can burn it out. It's sort of like when you went to a funeral. The body's laying there, but the energy or the life force of that person is gone. So it's all about energy, frequency, vibration. So when you start eating foods with higher energy or higher vibration, it's more fruits and vegetables, that wins, but also how fresh it is. When it's on the tree, it has a higher light quota to it, and the more it stays off the tree each day, it starts going down. Eat more foods like fruits that have more water content to it, to digest more easily and go through the system. And eat foods that's more liquidy, even liquids. It could be a meat, even if you're on that level still, if it's more in its liquid form like broth and stuff like that, it still is less on a digestive system. All of this deals on what level you're at, but take the next step further when we talk about higher energy foods. And right there, that'll give the atmosphere and the body, this is what it does by its nature, a chance to deal with bringing more energy on its own, because this is what it does. It seeks life and always seeking its center. So this is what we mean by higher energy foods. Why should I eat more live and raw foods? Because the electricity is there. That's why, because you're an electrical being. That's why people have better improvements. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else, electricity. That's the name of the game. The neural system is dealing with your brain, how it actually sends electrical signals all through the body. So your body is electrical. Just to move your feet, that was an electrical signal. It made that signal for it to move. But it goes so fast, bam, it's there. So you got this system on you, this electrical system. And it's hard for the average human being to realize, I'm using electricity? Yeah, not at the voltage like you're going to go put your hand in the socket at home. Don't do that. Somebody will try it. I'm electricity, all right. But you're still using the same forces. And even dealing with the technology, dealing with solar. Of course, we know now that we can put things in the sun, charge it up by using harnessing electricity from the sun. But now there's one man who got a good invention going on, because people will say, well, how about when it's no sunny days, the sun ain't going to do me no good. He's creating a machine now that could get more of the electricity out of the atmosphere because it's there. But now they're finally catching up to get a machine to do that. First, the people got to connect with the life force energy that this world we live in actually have available to all of us. And the way to do that is to connect it with our nervous system that deals on an electrical level. The more you meditate and relax the body, the more this life force that's all around us could get into the body. And that's the only way through meditation to get more abundant life force into the body. Now, there's many different forms of meditations, but the main thing is to get the people out here for this 3 days and this weekend to actually work with this energy, bring it into their bodies so they can see it on their own, and they're also cleaning themselves out, because the more you detoxify yourself from toxins, the body by its nature has more room to bring more life force energy in. Now, this word life force energy, it shocks everybody, but different nations and cultures throughout the world use different words for it. China, they use chi, prana, the ka in ancient Kemet. All around the world, they've been knowing about this life force energy that we as humans have a compatibility with, or some just call it the energy of nature. But anyway, this retreat is to get people back in nature, to feel the power of it. And for number one is health. You get more life force in, the blood flow get to going. That's usually the first level. The second level, more of this life force start going into the muscle, the more you stay on this path. And then later it'll start going more into the bone where it stays permanently. All of us have electromagnetic fields on our bodies, and it's your responsibility to take charge of this electromagnetic field. And when people learn how to do this, it's no more just talk. These people are here to come into the experience, to actually take it home with them and understand, man, I could feel like this continually if I continue to live my life in this time of cycle. I even tell people you should make your life into a retreat.
Okay.
We hear words like breatharian, prana, chi, ki, whatever word you use from any culture, but they'll say, okay, it means breath. But there's something more than that. We're breathing more than just oxygen, we're breathing in energy. Actually, electricity. The same electricity that charges up your cell phone also charges up our body. It got all the autoimmune system working. Our neural system in our body works hand in hand with it. This body we live in is actually a bio machine. Of course, it works with it differently. You're not going to plug yourself up to a wall socket. We're not talking about that. But everything, all physical matter, has an electromagnetic field. This could be proven now, and the higher the electric of an object, the higher the magnetism, and the higher the magnetism, the higher the energy. So you're dealing with electricity. So when you're doing your meditations, where you relax the body, there's an electric flow taking place. When you feel an ache and pain, that's an electrical flow blockage taking place. But when you stay in these meditations and allow that pain to work through, you feel shaking, sensations, sweating, itching. All of that is just electricity trying to go through this vehicle. Now you can strengthen your electrical system. This is the key. This is why meditation is the foundation. Every time you meditate, you're like charging up just like your cell phone. You're like the first wireless technology that's been around before all this other stuff we invented. So when you get into this habit, now it has purpose. When you could get to the level where your electric field could get bigger to where you could gain more energy from meditation instead of sleep, now you're in a ballpark. Now you understand it. Your electromagnetic field got bigger. Your electromagnetic energy is what feeds you. The food you eat has nothing to do while your heart's beating, while your liver's moving. It does not. That is the great lie. Of course you see improvements coming from a denser diet to another one, but there's still a stagnation, there's still a roof, because the foundation is this electricity that goes through our body, and you need to make it stronger, and it will override and feed the physical body. Once it gets big enough, it works hand in hand with the endocrine system, it works hand in hand with the circulatory system. All systems work together. But now, since you live in an electric universe, which can be proven, there's even machinery now that would get the electricity straight out of the atmosphere and will start something up. You understand? We're not just talking being directly under the sun with solar power. This is what we're living in, and your body, by its nature, been working with it all along. Again, when the life is out the body, that is death. Keep the life in the body. Keep the energy flowing. That's why it's not about gaining more energy. We use that word. What you're doing is you're balancing out the energy to run more smoothly. The more it's in balance, the more you feel aches and pains, the more you feel tired, the more you balance it out, you feel healthy. You feel what more energy. That's what the ball game is all about. A breatharian, the pranic path, is a balanced out energy system dealing with electricity. But now we're going to the life force because our spinal cord is the center of our body. We got a lot of activity that gives us our vitality. Our heart is on this life force is beating. Our gonad area and our root chakra that produces life holds a lot of energy. Our brain is on this cord also. So all these things is going on this cord. So this is what this particular retreat specializes in. All the other middlemen, it breaks that off. We're not putting them down. Those are steps to what we're talking about. But when you get to the real deal and really start working on it, it causes wonders when you really capture the idea, learn how to apply it. And like we said, eating or not eating, that's not what this is all about. But not eating is a byproduct when a person does open up their channels to a certain degree and get a certain amount of life force coming through their body, like opening up a stream. This is what will take place. Now, today I told you I was going to teach you all about the microcosmic orbit. Real powerful meditation. And this meditation is one of the foundations of acupuncture because it's dealing with energy channels in the body, acupressure, and dealing with energy centers. Everything in our body, our different organs, hook up to the spinal cord some type of way in order to get the signals. So when we're working on the energy that goes up and down the spinal cord and opening those centers up by will, taking part in it, it's going to make a difference on our health, our well-being, and the reason why you will pick up a whole nother influx of energy. You'll have more energy. And also, now this is the thing about coming this route by bringing more life force in your body. You don't have to be afraid of when your body get to a certain weight, it will stagnate itself off. That's one thing I get a lot of calls about. I'm losing too much weight. What if I lose too much weight? I'm already skinny and blah, blah, blah. But I usually tell them, because your nervous system ain't developed. It can't be. If you get a certain amount of energy, and it don't take long, it's all up to the person. That's why I want y'all to stay consistent on these meditations to see the power of it. Just once a day, that's all it takes. But at least you're into there, just like lifting weights. Your arm start getting bigger after a while, but if you stay consistent. If not, it'll go back to what it was. You ain't make no improvements. People saying, you still working out? Well, you bring up an excuse. But anyway, on this, it could be the same way. Don't be hard on yourself. It's all about when you're ready. People who still in and out going through the conscious eating. But they will even tell you that their eating habits changed from when they went from the process. They just got a new empowerment. But what happens is, sooner or later they should come into this mindset that every time their desires say, oh, I want to taste this. They went beyond hunger. But when they taste it, that pleasure, it'll start fading right away. And they find themselves in this cycle over and over again, showing that I will never be fulfilled. This will keep going on and on and on. What's next? So hopefully that's another realization that'll kick in, that you'll slowly begin to rotate back to the light. And let me see if I go, what will happen if I go a lot further. So that's usually what happens. But at least being on this path, you have that option. The difference between people who don't know this exists, living on prana, they're living on prana, but they don't know that they could turn the ship around and come back to the light at will. They just keep going and going and going, and of course preventable diseases and all this other stuff takes place, and it gets pretty awful. Well, Tai Chi is actually a moving meditation. First, you learn the mechanics on how to make the proper movements for the body, that the bottom of the body and the top of the body can move in cohesion with one another, rhythm with one another. Also, it gets the blood flow and the energy flow going within the body. This exercise right here, see, we as systems of energy, we're designed to move. And one of the big things that's in the West is a sedentary lifestyle. people sitting around too much at the TV. There's some jobs that require you to sit down 8 hours a day. So Tai Chi would be a good thing to really get the energy moving. And the good thing about doing this energy movement is that it breaks up blockages, it'll help with the blood flow, but the main thing, it'll bring more energy balance back into the body. So that's why this energy is so good to work with on doing this particular exercise. It's about balancing the energy. When you balance it out, you'll have more energy to complete goals, to do things in your overall life. And also you feel good about yourself. It brings up your emotional body, and you should want to continue that type of lifestyle. So that's why this exercise right here, dealing with movement, is good to have in your life on learning how to properly move in move your body structure to get the blood flowing, to get the energy flowing, so you can be a happier person. So when you stay with these energy exercises in your life, over a period of time, you like that new feeling it gives you. So then you start looking at the food component on what you put in your body. Now we must face it. Everything we put in our body affects us. It affects our thinking, it affects our movement. So when you stay constant in this energy exercise and really feel it picking up your energy and bettering your health, then as you start looking at the food, then you start watching what you put into your body, because you want that overall good feeling again. And what happens is you start eating less and you start having more energy. It feels so good, and it also brings clarity of mind. So therefore, as the food fades away more and more, and this energy picks itself up to dominate your new lifestyle, your new culture, it's a really great path to be on, and we hope you continue. Remember, always stay consistent with the energy work. Now the thing about this energy, it is the center of our life. The light, the way it's balanced, is going to determine your health, your happiness, and your well-being. So by keeping this energy flow open, this energy distribution, being on this path of the breatharian path isn't about eating or not eating. Not eating or eating less is a byproduct of how much light you're allowing to come into the body, so you can be a lot happier. When you start seeing this overwhelming happiness take place, food begin to diminish on its own right away. Because on the center of our body is our endocrine system that gives off a lot of hormones. Not eating is a byproduct of this new happiness that's coming in. Because a healthy body is a happy body. It's also a sexual body. Don't take that word out of context. It just means that you can move again, you can stretch, you feel good, and your cells are regenerating themselves like they're supposed to be. So that right there is one of the keys or the foundation of the breatharian journey. It's not now. So the physical body is what we're dealing with. At least the person is realizing, I need to do something with this vehicle, and it goes hand in hand with my thinking when they come into that enlightenment. Now the emotional body is a lot deeper to deal with. And that's hand in hand with the mental body. They're all three one, but they go hand in hand. But the mental body is when you start picking up, to deal with that, we're going into that discipline. It realizes I need more discipline. And that's when it picks up a practice to deal with the emotional body. Because if you just do it standing up thinking, that's the serpent. It's going to talk you out of things all the time. Absolutely. I know you meet people, even ourselves. Yeah, this weekend I'm going to go on a fast, and I'm going to do this and do that. Right. And your mind just talked you out of it. Right, you ain't strong enough yet to deal with your emotional body. So this is when the discipline come in. It deals with the mental body, where you understand, I got to stay with something, because we're creatures of habit also. We do things repetitionally, by repetition anyway. So that's why this isn't what I'm saying, yeah, get meditation, constantly repetition. Don't you think that's too much? You're already in a repetition. Right. Look at it. A cigarette smoker's in repetition, an alcoholic's in repetition, a gambler's in repetition. Not judging it if it's good or bad. Everybody has their repetitions. You just want to get it one where you can get a practice that's giving you more energy, that's going to deal with the physical body, going to help the emotional body, and it's going to discipline the mental body. See, a diet even isn't really to keep you alive at all, or a diet actually gives you discipline. That's a discipline. It's just there to discipline the mental mind. Can you really keep that up? The indications that you're receiving more light into the body from the atmosphere is, for number one, your energy will increase. You'll sleep less, you'll have more energy to carry out goals and plans, you will have clarity of thinking. In other words, it's a creative energy, so you'll have thoughts to really get a lot done. Also, your weight will become stabilized. A lot of people fear of losing too much weight, looking anorexic, too skinny, but when you're on this path of really strengthening your neural system, bringing more electricity into the body from the atmosphere, and it becomes strengthened and you bring more light into your body, because keep in mind that light, energy, life force, any word we use is all talking about the same thing. But what it boils down to, all of it equals to health. You will become more healthier. Your skin will clear up, your eyes will become clear. The less you'll have on your intestines, then this energy could go to other places in the body and be utilized. So this is a great lifestyle to live. But again, those are the indications that you're receiving more energy from the atmosphere, and you will feel it. It's a feeling of this great energy flow. When you breathe, you're breathing in more than just oxygen, you're breathing in energy. So now for a beginner, I tell them to go learn a lot more, study, both the cons and the do's and don'ts. Just learn as much as you can. Number two, fast once a week. Get that into your lifestyle. What that does is condition the body and the mind to be able to leave the external foods alone and start getting used to dealing with the environment that it lives in. It'll be hard at first, of course, just like any new thing that you could begin, but over a period of time, I guarantee it will become easy. All you need is 1 day a week. And also start challenging yourself on a lifestyle of eating more higher energetic foods. Wherever you at, start where you at. Don't try to start if you got this dense diet and try to jump way up here. You don't need to do that. Every little change you make makes a difference. So start where you at and start challenging yourself on that level, because a food diet really doesn't have nothing to do for your health on a higher perspective, but what it does do, it builds discipline in the mind. So these are the basics I tell somebody who first come into this. Hear this knowledge and learn as much as you can to just add these holistic things in. And also get a meditation. If you find a meditation teacher in your area, take advantage of it and learn what meditation is about. Get one that really suits you and try to add that into your lifestyle so you can feel the energy flow in your body, and you can learn to take part of the homeostasis process. That's what the body does by its nature. It's an energetic balancing act on every thought we have, everything we say, everything we eat, put in our body. There's a balancing act. When you get in meditation, you can feel the balance of this energy because it always seeks its center. So this is what I tell a beginner. And if you already have a sickness or a chronic sickness, you don't have to break away and leave medications alone saying this is the cure-all, not eating nothing. Work with your doctor. Prove to your doctor first that you can lower blood pressure by losing weight. You can better yourself by being consistent on a higher energy diet. Your body knows what to do, because keep in mind it was a lifestyle that brought forth that imbalance. So just combat it with a lifestyle to get back into balance, because breatharianism is just a lifestyle that's a little bit more tweaked than the average person was used to. But now the knowledge is here and this can take place. And keep in mind that your body, your mind, and the universe is all user-friendly. Listen to your body. Energy is growing. Energy is growing. Energy is growing. Energy is growing.